All right, guys, we got a brand new model from Nike and Nike Sportswear to be specific, even though they are very reminiscent of an old line from the 80s and early 90s. We've got Forces back. It's kind of weird. Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and review on these guys right here. This is the Nike Full Force Low. Despite how familiar or similar they look to other previous Air Force models, these are actually not in that family, even though they're in the family, if that makes sense. It's like a takedown of those models, but like late, very late. For those of you guys curious, this shoe right here is available currently in 3 different colorways. This is one of them. There's a white, red, and black, and then a white, UNC, and black as well. I think that all 3 look really good. I personally really do like the design of the shoe. I think that it's very simple and very clean, while still being kind of like 80s flavor and stuff like that, or early 90s flavor, however it is you want to look at it. However, they are a budget model, so there's really nothing in the shoe except for the looks themselves. So it really depends on what it is that you're looking for. If you're just looking for like that dunk kind of look without looking literally like everybody else wearing dunks, this I think could be a viable option. Almost the same tech specs and stuff. I'd say maybe this one's a little bit more upgraded than that, but we'll get to that in a second. But first, here's a quick word from our sponsor. This video is brought to you guys by the good folks over at Sole Premise. And what is Sole Premise exactly? Well, I'm glad that you asked. They make everything from large backpacks that can hold up to 5 pairs of shoes and that can be used as carry-on bags during your travels, to regular backpacks that you can use just all day that also carry up to 2 pairs of shoes, duffel bags, sports bags that carry plenty of sneakers for your on-court adventures, as well as other luxury items from luggage to carrier bags, toiletry bags, and sling bags. Most of these items are made out of premium materials, including leather, and if you happen to want vegan-friendly options, they do make polyester versions of the same bags as well. These are quite literally the only bags that I actually use, especially when I'm traveling. Not only do they fit all of my sneakers, but they fit damn near everything else. If you were interested in checking out anything that Sole Premise has to offer, make sure that you click the link down below in the description box. And don't forget, when you check out, to use our promo code WearTesters. It's going to save you quite a bit of money, I promise. They are available in most retailers, so you can get them now from Nike.com. You can also get them at big box stores like Famous Footwear, which is where we got these. They should have them over at Dick's and all kinds of places, so damn near everywhere. This is gonna be that one like kind of GR release of a takedown shoe that was like the, dang, I freaking forgot the name of the shoe. It was like the, what are they called? The court lows or full courts or something like that. We'll put a picture here. Everybody had them, at least in our area, the Sacramento area. So yeah, everybody that just like wanted a pair of Nikes, you know what I mean? Like they got those. It was a simple, easy grab and they didn't have to break the bank. That's kind of what this is. As far as the tech features of the shoe goes, most of it's just kind of like spoiled for you in the name. The name of the shoe is the Nike Full Force Low, not Nike Air Force, even though the Force logo is used on here. That's the part that I don't love that they did that, just because the original Force line was not just Force, it was literally the Air Force line and the Air Flight line. So there was the Air Force for the big guys, Air Flight for the smaller guys. Whoever created this was told, apparently, this is me assuming, this is not factual, to just the heritage and just use the Force thing, because somebody's gonna see this and be like, oh cool, I remember that. So yeah, that's the only thing that I don't like. It's like cherry picking off of things without giving you actual quality, so I dislike it. The outsole, I really like it. I think that this is very cool. I love the little pivot point right there where it's just a basketball with a swoosh on there. I think it's very cute and very, is cute not a manly word? Am I not supposed to say that?
You can own cute.
Okay, cute, it looks cute. I see this, I'm old now, so that's what it is. I'm old and I'm a dad, so again, cute. It would have been really cool if you had that have a Nike day, a little smiley Nike face. That would have been really neat. But either way, I really do like the outsole. I think it's nice. And again, it's reminiscent of the old Air Force line. So when I see this, while I don't see the actual literal models that I remember as a kid, I see something similar and I dig that. Something that's very interesting though is this little midsection right here. It's very similar to what they're doing with the Air Jordan 2s, where that's actually not rubber right there. So this is foam. And that's really all that's inside of the shoe and stuff. So you got a rubber cup sole, which I really dig as well. I like the design. I love that it's stitched in the toe and in the heel. So that's gonna make a long lasting shoe. There's shoes from the 80s that are done like this with stitched cup soles and they're still attached. So that's where like you'll get glue separation and stuff, because glue eventually dries out. You'll start seeing separation between the midsole and the upper. You don't actually get that with stitched tooling and stuff, which is just neat. That's the one thing where I'm disappointed in Devin Booker's shoe. Like I was looking at it more closely and they have the stitch crevice.
Oh, but it's just like
it's just a line.
Rubber.
Yeah, and I was like, why do you even have that? You know what I mean? Like, it's such a waste. And then like I was saying before, the cushion is actually kind of like inside of all of this cupsole, and to make it a little bit more comfortable, they've opened it up on the bottom so you get a little bit of compression under there. So underneath each step, you're gonna move that foam down a little bit, and it's gonna make you feel like you're in something that's a little bit more premium feeling than they actually are. So it's just simple EVA, or what Nike would call Phylon. You can see it poking through literally right here, but most of it's right there on the bottom and everything. When you look at the other side, just cupsole. It's all cupsole everything. So yeah, I don't dislike this or anything like that. Again, for the price points and all of that stuff, I think that it's cool. I will also say that when I was a kid and shopping at Famous Footwear, like after the Payless era, we didn't have stuff that looked this good. You know what I mean? Like the Nikes that would be there, if there were Nikes, were very cheap looking. These, while being cheap, are cool looking. The insole itself is a cheap piece of, but it is what it is. It is hard to take out as well, so even though you can remove it, it's just got like a fuzzy liner underneath it and it just wants to stick to it. So that is something where just be careful if you want to swap out the insole. You can do that very easily and make these a little bit more comfortable than what they are. Not necessary, but it's an option. Now the upper is where things get really interesting, mostly because they are very reminiscent of the Air Force 3, but they're a little bit more toned down. So like the Air Force 3 is kind of a beefcake of a shoe, if you will. Like I know that the Air Force 1 is a beefcake of a shoe, but believe it or not, the next one and the one after that were a little beefier. So these guys look like that, but like slimmed down quite a bit. Kind of reminds me of skate shoes, actually. A lot of the new skate shoes where they do these reissues, but they're not true reissues, and they have like a slim tooling and stuff, and they call them slim sometimes too. It's like the S-Scheme Slim or whatever, even though that's not the thing. I think it's the Quattro is the one that's the slim, but either way, it just is what it kind of reminds me of. The materials themselves though, very cheap. That's the thing where like I wouldn't even say you're getting what you pay for. That's where they could just be a little bit better, especially because this front half right here, the white portions of the leather are leather. It's just very bad leather, and it's very heavily coated in polyurethane. It's like that rubbery stuff. This, believe it or not, reminds me of the New Balance 550. It's got that same feel, and that should not be a thing with New Balance. New Balance are kept to a higher standard for a reason, so having that type of leather that's as similar as this, like I'm just like, why New Balance? Why? However, there is some synthetic panels, the gray panel, the swoosh, the rear white panel and everything like that. All of that stuff is synthetic. So again, only like the front half is leather, the back half is kind of synthetic and everything. Full synthetic would have been better than this. Something that also is funny though is that these laces are the exact same laces that are on those Jordan 1 Low OGs, the white and reds. And I said in that video, like, oh, that's where they cut costs. Here you go, man. It didn't affect the budget for these guys whatsoever. The tongue itself is interesting because it's nylon. It's kind of puffy. I wish it was a little bit longer, just a little bit, just because it's dipping, you know what I mean? And I know that that's a sneakerhead problem. If I've ever like seen one, is the tongue lean. Nobody likes that. But what they've done though is they've added the Force logo. Granted, it's a little muted here because the black font and everything is matching the black material that they used, but you can clearly see that basketball down there. So it's basketball inspired, but not necessarily a basketball shoe. And then on the back, we don't have Nike Air. Why?
Because there's no air in it.
Exactly, but it is a Nike shoe, so there's Nike branding. So you've got that. Also, I forgot to point out on the cupsole right here in the heel, you've got two logos, one of which is the Force logo. The other one is, again, the Nike logo. I really like that. I think that that is... It also looks like it's a recycled rubber, the cupsole, which I should have said earlier too. As far as the sizing is concerned, they do fit true to size. Just keep in mind that that 4-foot leather is very stiff. Again, if you've worn the New Balance 550, it's kind of that similar feel. So when you flex and everything, it's got this weird, like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't look great, despite the shoe looking awesome. One of the things that I absolutely love though is just this back little collar. It's kind of a neoprene feel, so it's gonna be a little bit softer back there. For those of you guys that know or have had your ankles chewed up, hopefully that doesn't happen here because of that material, but just something I thought that should be noted. So yeah, sound off below. Let us know what you think about these in the comment section. Do you like the look? Do you like the concept? Do you like the price? Let me know, or not me, let Nike know. You're the buyer, you know what I mean? Let them know. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We will catch y'all on the next one. So until then, have a good one.